always love it when we start our show. And I don't know about you, but this is sort of my highlight for the week. For those of you who are joining us, welcome. Happy Wednesday to you. As you know, you are here with In the Loop with Winnie and Greg. I know Greg has some pretty important news to share with us in just a moment. Of course, I'm going to keep you on top of all things business finance, right? But most importantly, we hope that you had a beautiful Valentine's Day as we're celebrating Valentine's week. Big welcome to the show. For those who are new here, I am Winnie's son, longtime Financial Pro, CNBC Council member, Forbes contributor, and host of Level Up, which can also be found on NASDAQ, amongst many other platforms. But, you know, I bet you're very excited to be here because Greg is here. I'm very excited to see Greg. It's like I love getting together and talking tech and finance. Greg, how you doing this week?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's always so good to see you too. I mean, this is, like you said, a real highlight of the week. It's so much fun being here. For those of you who don't know, I'm Greg Nibbler, longtime tech reporter covering kind of all things in that world. Coming up, I've got one thing that's an important update that you should be doing. And the rest of it, we got some robots, we got some cameras, we'll have some fun things to talk about. And that's always what we like to do here on this show. We like to hear your comments, your feedback, whatever you think. It's always so good to see some faces come in and great to see some new ones, some new names anyway that pops up, even if we can't see your face. And it's just so much fun being here and doing this show. So thanks to everybody who's joining us and following along. And and as always, Winnie is here to tell us everything that's going on in the world of finances, which the world of finances is very confusing for me. And so that's why, Winnie's so good at making it make sense that I always just appreciate it so much.
I appreciate you so much, Greg. I feel the same way about technology. Certain things I will say, I feel like because we do this show together, Greg, I do feel smarter actually being part of the show. So every time I've heard about this one robot. And then wow, I'm like, yeah, Greg told me about it. Let's start with the financial markets because there's been a lot that's been happening this week. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, I didn't go live yesterday. I just had too much on my plate and I couldn't. But I'm going to catch you up to speed today. Okay, Greg? So also, let's talk about the market and how it closed. This is actually good news. We've been seeing some up and down waves in 2023 so far. We started off the year pretty strong and then things sort of kind of got derailed in the last couple weeks. But today we do see some positive numbers. The Dow closed up 39 points, NASDAQ up 110, which we'll take, and the S&P 500 also up 11 points. Now, you may have seen part of the reason we've had some volatility this week into the negative numbers yesterday is that yesterday's inflation data wasn't all that great. This was January data. This actually caused a lot of stock market to kind of quiver a little bit and the Dow to fall yesterday despite some earlier gains earlier in the day. Now, the January Consumer Price Index report showed that inflation did grow higher than expected last month to an annual rate of 6.4%. And as you know, that actually might sound pretty good compared to some of the inflation numbers we talked about last year. But given that the Fed's been increasing interest rates so aggressively, the number should sound a little bit better. But despite rising inflation, many consumers here in the United States are still shopping. This is actually good news for retailers, but not so much for the rest of the economy. Because according to the report from the Commerce Department, sales at retailers rose more than expected last month, with a 3% increase when they were expecting a 1.9%. Now, why that's important is because if things are costing more and people continue to buy more, that means that, that things are going to continue to stay at those higher levels because people can maybe afford or borrow and they're making those decisions to continue to keep prices at an elevated state. Now, if prices were going higher and people were spending less, then there was reason why, some softening needed to occur. So unfortunately, not the case, something we're keeping a close eye on. And of course, that's what you saw, negative numbers on the market yesterday, probably a little bit oversold yesterday. And so you're seeing some more investors go back into the financial markets today. But this is a story that I want to segue over to. And I know that many of you will have a strong opinion about this. And I know, Greg, you and I have talked about this quite a bit. And this is is there hope for Twitter? That's what I'm going to call it. Is there hope for Twitter? Because is Elon finally going to step aside as CEO? Today, Elon Musk announced that at the World Government Summit in Dubai that he does in fact plan to hire a brand new CEO for Twitter by the end of 2023. Greg, believe it or don't believe it?
I don't believe it. I mean, look at how much he's done just since November. Was that when he took over? I believe actually finally started taking over late October, early November. I mean, I think in my personal opinion, I don't really believe that he's going to. If he does, great. I think he should, but I have a hard time really believing him on that he's going to be willing to actually just give up control and hand that off to a CEO, or maybe hire a CEO, but really he's still the one, calling all the shots. Maybe there could be something like that. But so far, I mean, he hasn't shown any real, to me, any real initiative to give up all that control, because there's also that story that came out that he was inflating his own tweets, for impressions,
Mhm.
because he was upset that President Biden got more impressions than he did over the Super Bowl. So it's like, I don't know. I don't see somebody like that necessarily wanting to give up control.
I don't think Greg, he's the first person that was jealous of Biden getting more. Who does that
Yeah,
sound? I mean, when
yeah,
you when
that's
I
true.
heard you say that, something in my mind just
Hmm.
that reminded me of someone. I don't know who it is.
Yeah,
Maybe some of you watching can jump.
yeah,
I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So the whole concept of Greg's idea of a puppet CEO, someone in name only and title only, but really it's like Elon in the back pulling the strings. Maybe.
yeah,
So Elon did state that he will hire his replacement. He knows he needs to. He did a poll on Twitter and he said, whatever people decide on Twitter, that's what I'm going to do. And sure enough, the overwhelming majority of Twitter users who answered to that poll said, yes, step aside, get us a new CEO. But he went from over 7,000 employees worldwide to less than 1,000. But they're like, I think a lot of people are saying what Greg is saying today, which yes, maybe he wants to hire a new CEO just to maybe make those involved with Tesla feel a little bit better. The question is, will he really step down as CEO, or is he going to continue to play in that key role and make company decisions, right? Anytime his tweet doesn't get as many impressions as Joe Biden or somebody else, is he going to jump in and he make changes to the algorithms or the analytics tools or whatever it is at Twitter? Because if he does step down, will the new CEO have the power to remove hate speech from the platform once again and bring back advertisers, which we know is so key because, as you know, Elon has stated that he plans to stick around at Twitter at least until 2024 to run its engineering. But the question is, will he actually follow through? Will he actually do that? But this new CEO, could have big implications for Twitter's future. And certainly you can see a lot of people online have complained that they feel like the experience on Twitter has greatly diminished. In fact, as Greg had mentioned, it was actually, I think, just a couple of days ago, Greg,
yeah,
where there was like a whole bunch of outages at Twitter, right? And even Jack Dorsey, the previous CEO of Twitter, jumped in and sort of made comments saying, "Oh wow, you came and now like it doesn't work." And in the past, if something didn't work, you would jump on Twitter to complain it didn't work. Well, if Twitter doesn't work, where do you complain that Twitter doesn't work?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I don't know, but Facebook's probably happy, I suppose, in some way. but but yeah, that's true. What do you do? And I'm seeing seeing some of the comments come through too, and just somebody talking about Tesla and Twitter stock being down. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately for the health of Twitter, for Twitter to work, I mean, he's got to stop firing everybody. You've got to get some engineers in there. I'm sure there's a few, there are still some really talented engineers, but they can't do this all. I mean, there needs to be more people in there, and they need to be able to do their jobs. And this just doesn't seem like, from an outside perspective, not knowing everything internal, but from what we've seen, doesn't seem like this works very well.
so I have a solution, Greg. I thought about this, okay? I feel like Elon needs two people. One person to run the financial side of Twitter, and one person to run the tech side of Twitter. And I know Do you know a financial person and a tech person
Huh.
that I feel
I
like that
mean,
they would have to get along.
I
Like
think they would have to get along. They'd have to be willing, to work together on to
like
make this all
having worked
happen.
together for at least a year, right?
Yeah, yeah, at least a year. I think a year would be a good time frame to do that
Mhm.
as well. So yeah, I mean, if we know of anybody out there like that,
I
that would be
mean, a
pretty great.
financial person, a tech person who has followed the company,
Yeah,
who would be open to being co-CEOs of the company,
yeah, yeah.
send us a message.
Yes. Come on, come on, Elon.
Reach out to Greg and direct message. Reach out to me. Our people talk to your people. Twitter. We'll see what we can do together. But yeah, so
We'll
interest
handle it.
rates, on this like $13 billion worth of debt he took out to buy Twitter. I guess that's a concern, and certainly he's getting a lot of backlash, right, from ownership of Twitter by Tesla customers
Oh
who are
yeah,
actually embarrassed of being associated with him. And I will say, Twitter, as a Tesla car owner, right? I will say that a lot of people I know feel that way. They feel embarrassed to drive their Teslas because of all this that he's all this
yeah,
mayhem he's been creating on the Twitter platform. I guess reinstating some really controversial people back on Twitter and then banning journalists who have been critical of his work at the various companies and the comments that he's made on Twitter. So,
yep, yep,
don't
yeah.
know.
There's, I definitely understand. I've heard that from several people too who have Teslas. Love the cars, but this is not. It's just not a good look.
Not
Some
a
of the
good
stuff
look.
that he says. Yeah,
Not a good look. I know. And
yeah.
then Wendy Barker is joining us from YouTube live. Hello, Wendy. So great to have you here. Saying CFO and CIO. Yeah, that's right. The
I like that.
CFO, CIO together, we make co-CEO, right, Greg? Um, we
Yeah,
see Brigetti joining us on Facebook Live. Thanks so much for being here with us. And of course, our good
nice,
friend Sadiq on YouTube Live. Always a treat.
awesome.
Sadiq says, yeah, Sadiq, if Greg and I make co-CEO, we'll find a role for you.
Oh yeah,
We
definitely. Yeah,
like, yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel
we'll
like
make that happen.
y'all friends, and it's always raining on YouTube Live. Always a treat, and yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the conversation. I love talking about it. Speaking of which, I have more news to share with you today. Are you
Yes.
ready? And more importantly, have you had lunch yet? Because this story I think you're going to really enjoy. You know about the company Chipotle Mexican Grill. Many of you probably enjoy their burritos, their salads, their amazing guacamole. Well, my friends, they are opening a brand new concept car Farmisia. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. They're going to be serving California inspired fresh food, I guess, serving these customizable bowls. They're going to cost about $12 to $17. So, not the cheapest food, but
Yeah,
I mean, given that they're saying a lot of this is going to be healthy and organic and probably very, very delicious, because this is from CEO Brian Nicole, and the chef or sort of the culinary innovation behind the food is going to come from Nate Appleman, who is a James Beard Award winning chef who
huh.
previously led the menu innovations for Chipotle. So, pretty exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah, so this is going to be a brand new. I guess what's really interesting, Greg. Maybe you could explain this to me a little bit. So they say this is sort of going to be a ghost kitchen type of restaurant that they're going to
hmm,
be coming out with. They're definitely incorporating a lot of tech, so you can order things online and whatnot. And I guess this is a way for Chipotle to collect some data from their users to find out what their customers really want. Talk to me about ghost kitchen. What is a ghost kitchen?
well, I mean, I know that there's some ghost kitchens at least around here, and I'm not super well versed in them, but it's essentially just a place where it's not like a storefront or someplace you'd go visit. It's just you order the food online, and then it's just made in some nondescript, cart or somewhere, or a kitchen somewhere, and then that's where they make it. So you don't actually go in to a restaurant for any kind of experience. That's my understanding of ghost
Yeah,
kitchen.
I
You
think
know,
you're right. I think
yeah,
you're right, and I think there's actually I think there's a lot of now I think about it, there's a lot of ghost kitchens in Southern California where I'm at. And I
yeah,
think what they do is they come up with a restaurant concept, right? And a name and a style of food. And then like you go to pick up and it's actually like a different restaurant. So a lot of
yeah.
chain restaurants do this. I think like one of the chicken wing places, the big chains does it here too. Um
There's a mac
Yes.
and cheese place near me that makes really amazing mac and cheese that I've ordered that I know is a ghost kitchen. But yeah, I do think that's kind of cool though, trying out different things and just, seeing where it goes out. And I love bowls. So that kind of, I love bowls, just sounds like a weird thing to say, but I like that concept of food, with a protein and like rice and anything that you mix in there. I'm all for that.
Yeah, so I guess that's a key is like they're gonna serve these bowls. I'm guessing they're gonna kind of be like the Chipotle bowls, right? You get to pick
Yeah.
a protein, like a
Like a
green
yum
or
bowl, or
grain.
do you
I'm
have yum
guessing
bowls there? I
we
don't
don't
know if
have
you
young bowls, but it
okay.
sounds yummy.
It is good. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
So like salad or grain, right? Two sides, and then you can choose one of the five sauces they say, and a topping. And like they're saying that they can even have things like salmon on there and steak on there and with potatoes and golden beets. So this sounds like cauliflower soup. It sounds pretty good. So they're
I will
saying that
say just really quick, I didn't eat lunch today. I didn't have time to eat it. And now this is all I can think about right now.
there's more though. There's more. So yeah, so most of their product is going to be organic and non-GMO, or I think even maybe all their products. That's I thought that was pretty cool. So it's really going to be a new concept, and I think it's clever because Chipotle is using this as a data collection tool. And this is sort of on the heels because you may have heard a lot of restaurants are sort of uh, unleashing new products and new franchises and new concepts. So McDonald's is bringing out their McPlant line also. They've just announced, which is their meat-free McPlant nuggets, made in partnership with Beyond Meat. That's going to start also next week, I guess, in Germany. They're going to have a true McPlant burger.
Okay.
And then you may have also heard that like this, yeah, so you can see the picture right here. And then Chick-fil-A just announced a cauliflower version of its chicken sandwich, which is going to be sort of crunchy on the outside, but it's like, I guess, pressure cooked cauliflower in the middle, which I thought was really interesting. I'm usually a huge cauliflower fan, but I'm not sure if that's the kind of cauliflower burger I want to eat. But the cauliflower burger, I guess, or sandwich at Chick-fil-A is going to be in like 4 different markets. But it looks like, at least for my purposes, looks like Farmesia might be the one I'm going to go check out the soonest because that sounds really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then It's Always Raining is saying there's a few pop-up bakeries like that in Portland. Hey, you
Yeah.
got a neighbor, Greg.
Looks like
Do
I
you know
do. Yeah.
do you know It's Always Raining?
I don't. I mean, it is always raining. Well, actually, it's not right now. I don't. But yeah, if you have some good suggestions, please let me know because I'm here in Portland. So yeah, I would love to know where it is, especially because I'm so hungry now. So please tell me, and then immediately afterward, I'm going to order that.
And Wendy says, "Oh wow, hurting the brand." So I'm wondering, Wendy, when you say, "Oh wow, hurting the brand," are you talking about Chipotle or Chick-fil-A or McDonald's? Or are you talking about Twitter/Tesla? Because I'm gonna
Mm,
guess you're talking Elon, but I'm not sure. I'd be curious to see.
probably.
So thanks so much for joining us and sharing that comment. But great, that's what I have. So I want to hear. I want to hear about the upgrade because I know you told me to get my phone ready for this and anything else. Robots. We want to hear about
Yeah.
robots.
Yeah. We got it. It's kind of a potpourri of tech here today. A smattering of different things.
A
But
buffet.
one thing I did want to bring up just right at the top here is if you have an Apple device of any kind, there are some security updates out there. Update right away. So if you've got an iPhone, make sure you have taken care of the latest update. Double check on that, and same thing with your iPad and with your Mac, all of it.
Okay.
Just update all of it just to be safe because there is a pretty serious security threat out there that could take control of your device.
Doing that right now.
Yeah, if you click on the wrong link, this is something that could happen. Apple's making a big warning about it. Actually, even Homeland Security was talking about it. So it's a serious one, and there
Oh
is the
wow.
updates out there to fix it. But I'm just saying, if
Yikes.
you've ignored that or wouldn't let your device update, go ahead and do that. That is something that I think you should do, just based on their recommendations, especially Apple saying do that.
Wow.
So I don't have a lot of more details on that, other than making sure that you update your devices all the time is really, really important. If there are security updates, they're there for a reason. And maybe the likelihood is maybe it won't ever affect you. Maybe you're not going to click on that link. But also, spammers are getting really, really good at hiding and manipulating people and really getting you to click on things that you maybe just aren't paying attention to. So that's really it. Just run your updates. That's the important part. All right, going on from that, I do have, an actual new device and I haven't talked about a lot of new devices lately because they haven't been rolling out yet, but we do have something coming out from Ring. And I'm going to bring this up because this is something else that I guess this is Greg's tech advice that I think everybody should have if you have a vehicle. And that is a dash cam. I think they're so important to protect yourself just in the event of, an accident or anything like that, or some kind of theft or someone's, messing with your car. Tesla has a lot of that already built in, but for this one's a little bit expensive, but it is the new one that's out right now. And there's a couple of good things that come with it. So it's from Ring. So this is the car cam. So if you have kind of a Ring ecosystem, this can tie into that to an extent. And the camera itself is designed it'll essentially wedge into where your windshield meets the dashboard. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a unique way, at least as far as how it comes in there. It has this always on recording so that it's recording the front and the back. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. This is a good example right here. You've got a pretty wide range of view. So no matter where something's coming, you're going to be able to most likely get that covered, at least from the front. See, there you go. So this has the always on thing. So when you're not driving and you just have it parked and it detects motion near your car, it'll turn on. Other cameras have this too, so this isn't the only one, but in case anybody didn't know, that is a function you can get with dash cams that it'll turn on, start recording. It also has LTE and built-in GPS right there. So with the LTE, that means that you can access it at any time.
Oh, wow.
So if you're not near your car and you want to check on and see what's going on there, you can actually access it and see what's happening. That's a pretty cool feature that not a lot of dash cams have. There's not a ton of them out there with that, and they're usually pretty pricey. This one is pricey for a dash cam. It's $250. So I'm kind of using this as more of an example. To me, that's a lot, for this. But if you do want that LTE connection to where you can connect to it anytime, anywhere, that's, one way to go about it. I believe it's like $6 a month also for the subscription that goes with that. Yeah. The reason I'm saying everybody should get a dash cam is because I've gone through an accident where I didn't have one, and it was, and the other person, essentially I got, T-boned going through a traffic light. I was going through a green light. Somebody ran a red light and smashed right into me and pretty much totaled both vehicles, but there was no camera evidence of what happened. And so this other person, lied about it. And I remember going around to like every business everywhere around there trying to find cameras, and just nobody had one. But if I had a dash cam, it would have been really easy to just pull it up and just say, there it is. So instead, it was a huge, insurance fight for months and months. So that's just one example. Yeah, it was so lame. So, but if I had had a dash cam, I would have been just fine. So that next, when I finally got my vehicle back, that is exactly what I did. I went out and got a dash cam, and I've had one ever since. And it's just a peace of mind. I've been able to help out some other people too that have been in accidents, and just like, well, I've got the footage right here. But I think it's important just for those reasons. Something maybe you won't use very often, but when you need it, you're going to be glad you had it.
Absolutely. And I want to say a big welcome to the show from CrossX Fighter is on YouTube Live, and CDK, of course, is also YouTube Live. Greg, I love this idea because you remember when our houses used to have just plain regular doorbells, and then all of a sudden everybody is popping up in the neighborhood with a Ring doorbell. And I would imagine that's actually should, for many neighborhoods, reduce crime rates, right? At least at the front door, maybe wherever it is. So I think this is good because I've actually heard too that people have said that, well, if you're going to commit damage or steal a vehicle, then a Tesla is one you definitely don't want to touch, right?
Sure.
Because of the surrounding cameras. So maybe this will help other vehicles who don't have that same technology. And you're right, having an LTE process is really great. And I just, not only that, I'm thinking because you're paying a monthly subscription, I bet you has other features. Like, for example, let's say you forget where you park your car. I wouldn't be surprised if you know, the technology would be there where it could lead you to your car. Because I know with
Yeah.
my Tesla, they have the capability to do that.
Yeah, Teslas have a lot of this, built in and even better than what this is. But for people who don't have that, who have, regular old boring cars, this is helpful for for that. I wish I had some of those features on mine, but yeah, this is, I think, for again, for anybody out there, this is the more expensive one. There are certainly a lot of them out there that are less expensive that you could just put on your car and at least have some kind of protection there, in the event that something happens. So that's why I recommend. I recommend that to everybody.
Super cool.
Yeah. Just when you need it, you'll be glad you had it. All right, so we have that, and there's a gadget for the week. Let's talk about some robots. And this is getting into the concept of a home, smart home robots, but really for something called smart furniture. So it's from a company called ChickfilA, and they're big in making smart warehouse robots, which that's something we've seen for a long time. That's getting better and better in warehouses as far as moving things around. Lots of examples of that. It's taking that concept and bringing it into your home with a smart robot for that. So what you're looking at right there is you can kind of see the little robot there at the bottom. It looks a lot like a Roomba or a vacuum. And it looks like that. It has some of the same functionality as far as LiDAR. It can map out the room, so it'll know where it's going. It's got cameras on it, so it can navigate around your living room or your house. But the other thing it has is this pole that will come out, and essentially you've got different pieces of furniture that it can attach itself to, and then bring that furniture into different rooms for different purposes. So like the examples they show here are, this guy has his laptop on it, and Greg loves robots. I know, it's true. I love them, and I'm scared of them sometimes. But this guy has his table there with his laptop on it. I don't know about this example. I think it's this.
Like you won't even get up to get your laptop.
I know.
I mean, no offense. I feel like
that example's pretty silly.
Like I can understand if you use it to like move your refrigerator over to you, but your laptop?
He doesn't won't even get up to go get his laptop. I mean, and the other parts, so they're showing this, he's making whatever. He's got some dinner going on, and then he'll send the robot into the other room to bring the dinner. It's all loaded up there. You can also just carry it into the other room. But let's think that looking at it like further out, like some of the concepts they were talking about is, building up a lot of different kinds of furniture that you could have and essentially utilizing your space better. So it would be like you could have one room in the house that could be, your breakfast table. It's set up for breakfast at one point, and then the robots come and hauls the furniture away, turns it into an office, or turns it into a living room or a game room or whatever. And so you could have utilize your rooms for different purposes. Mm-hmm. That was one of the things we were talking about. Saying it out loud now, I realize it's kind of silly what we're looking at right now, but
I mean, it's a great concept.
The idea,
right? I mean, maybe it would be helpful to move medical equipment in a hospital setting, right?
Sure.
Or something like that, since it can move things around. I'm not sure though if in a house setting, if you're already maybe you don't have that much space, and so it would move your kitchen table with that. Then your house is probably not that big. So do you need a robot to move the table? Then that's probably 3 feet away that you would go to get your table. Maybe we can do something else with this robot money.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're like this guy and you can't get up to get your own laptop, then, maybe this would be the kind of thing that you would need.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's the concept of it. Smart furniture coming to homes. Yeah, moving shelves places, and I mean, look, it spins around. So.
Yeah, I don't know. This is an interesting one. Now, if it would like like Greg, you and I always talk about if this vacuums and does the toilets and does the dishes and folds the laundry and
yes,
and most importantly, redoes your roof for you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Then that's a winner,
right? I still don't want to get up on that thing.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, I want to keep my money in my pocket for this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's $2,000, I believe, too. So
yikes.
Yeah.
Just to move the $2,000 laptop for you. See, go big.
Just sitting there refusing to move all day long. So that was one I wanted to bring up. I've got one other robot to talk about today. It's kind of a light week in tech, so I figured let's pick some interesting things to talk about. This is, I said I like robots, and they're just also a little bit scary to me sometimes. This probably goes more on the scary side, although the theory behind it is probably good. This is what's called a spider. It's SPIDAR. That's the acronym they used. And it is a robot that can walk and fly.
Ooh.
And the way they're doing it is a little bit different than you've seen any kind of robot really do this before. This is I believe it's from University of Tokyo is where this is out of, or Tokyo University. And they actually put, what's that?
Is this like a drone?
Well, it's both. So it can walk with creeping gait. Yeah, of course I have to describe it as creeping, but it's actually using those the propellers to actually move it foot by foot. So you're showing it there, so it can move on all four legs, and cover different terrain that's needed there. Yeah, a robot spider with only four legs, but that is kind of what it looks like.
That's what it is, Joshua.
Yeah.
A robot spider.
Yeah.
Like instead of shooting liquid, it shoots wind at you.
Yes, precisely. But then it gets to there, and then what they can do is they can actually manipulate these propellers. So instead of having it, move the legs, it can lift the entire robot up off of the ground. So this is what we're going to see right here. The demonstration too, with the audio on it, which we don't need to listen to the audio, but it's really loud, as you can imagine. But then it's able to just kind of fly up like this and move around. So that's what they're kind of showing, different ways that you would be able to use robots for different purposes, all within the same robot unit.
This is a great delivery device. I mean, imagine, and it looks really compact, right? Because it's sort of, you could probably fold it really small, and yeah, it would be loud. But let's say you're on a construction site and you need to move something from the first floor up to like the 10th floor, it could work, right?
Yeah, and then have it walk it into wherever it needs to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you could fold it up and put it into your tool chest, and then away you go.
And away you are with your spider robot. That's, again, just looking at some of these concepts for robotics.
It's gonna be at the wall one day.
Now, if it'll bring me a burrito right now, or one of those bowls that we were talking about, then I'm all for this thing.
Well, when we become co-CEO, I don't think we're gonna have such like luxuries. We'll have to have a robot bring us lunch. We should put that in our contract. We'll have to request robot delivery of lunch.
Yes. Sound perfect. Yep. I like it. I like the robot bringing me lunch, so it can fly up there and drop it off. Drop off my burrito.
We'll tweet about it too.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, exactly. See, so the bottom line here is that
we're a good value.
Yeah, right. We'll give you a great deal. Just make us co-CEOs of Twitter. That is the whole purpose of this show, all from the beginning, anyway. This was all a job interview. All right, there's my flying robot. That's what I had. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it's like, each week's different here on the loop. Yeah. And there's my flying propeller robot.
We keep you thinking.
Exactly. I read that as walking with creepy gait. I know that's what I read that as too. That's what I was thinking as well.
And you just put a cover over it. It's always raining. You put a cover over it, and there you go. You got your like flying umbrella. So when you and Greg are walking through the streets of Portland, you don't even have to hold your umbrella. It'll
just fly above you. Float right above you.
It'll be loud.
I can be down with an umbrella like that. Yeah,
it'll be loud and windy, but you won't get wet. So
yep.
And you won't really bang into people.
Yeah, this is true. All right, I'm down with this. I'm down with this idea. So
a walking spider.
Yeah, my walking spider. Where's my creepy walking spider? All right. Well, there we go. That's what I had for this week. I love so much that everybody's tuning in and joining
Greg
us.
And I always walk together in the rain of Portland.
Yeah.
Who is this? It's always raining. We want to know.
Now I want to know, because I'm not even sure. But apparently I'm going on walks I wasn't aware of. Well, we'll get our robot that's big enough to cover both of us. That is what I have for this week.
Well, that's great. I love it. That's amazing. That was really fun. And actually, I'm thinking like Greg, eventually there'll be a small form robot. You could just put it in your pocket. Think
Yeah,
about the things it could do. Like have like a portable, small. Then you're like Harry Potter on the go, right? You don't need a wand or anything. You just got your like little flying gnat thingy that can bring an umbrella on top of your head, and then
yeah,
it can like keep sun coverage for you. It could go pick up a burrito for you.
yeah.
This is a great thing.
If it could do
Yeah.
all of those and bring my laptop to me on top of that, then yeah, then I think we've figured it out. All these robots need to be combined.
Yes. And if they make us co-CEO of Twitter, we can actually test these things out,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
we'll make that one of our platforms.
Yes. We'll have like a robot channel. We'll have to have like a hashtag for robots
Absolutely,
and new
absolutely,
foods.
and new
Because
foods. Yep,
yeah.
which I'm going to
And
go get that right after this show.
right. And for those of you Twitter employees out there who are missing that experience, we could bring the joy back.
Yes,
That's what we could do.
absolutely. I think everybody's going to get lunch. Lunch is going to happen.
Lunch for everybody from the
Yep.
robot. We got to get Greg is that other robot you shared it with us like a few weeks ago of the robot that makes fast food on demand, right? Without
Oh
human.
yes,
Those are really cool. They would make stir fry for you. Oh,
yeah,
I
yep,
really want one of those at home.
yes. We need a robot chef as well. So it's a lot of
Yeah.
robots. The budget's going to have to be big at Twitter for that part of it, but otherwise, I think we can make this all work.
Yeah, this sounds like I feel like this has legs. It's sounding fun. Gating legs, right? It's always raining. Gating legs.
Gating creepy legs.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, such a treat, Greg. So much fun. Lots to talk about this week. And I know we got more to talk about next week. So
Yep.
um I know you got to run, so I guess we got to wrap it up. But it's so much fun hanging out with all of you. Do us a favor if you can, if you see other things out there that you think that Greg and I should have our radars on,
Yes.
definitely share it. Post this show with your friends on social media. Make sure to tag at Greg Nibbler, tag at Winnie Sutton, so that way we know that you're doing that and you're sharing the content out, because that really helps us out. And
Yeah,
we will
please do.
probably thank you on the show because we really appreciate you doing
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, but I know, Greg.
Yeah.
Any last words of wisdom?
No, I think you covered it all. Just thank you to everybody for joining in. And yeah, please feel free to message us anytime, whatever platform we're on. See something cool, we'd love to hear about it. And thanks for sharing the show and being here and having fun with us.
Yeah. And we'll see you again next week. Same time, Wednesday.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye, everybody.